You've probably heard about the 28,000 layoffs that Disney is doing at their parks. But what does this actually mean for the parks? Which divisions are going to get really hurt? And what about Photopass in particular? 28,000 layoffs at Disney between Disneyland and Walt Disney World and several park related divisions. That's a lot of jobs lost. And it's understandable in this time of COVID and not knowing when Disneyland's going to reopen, but it means a lot of people and a lot of things are gone and may or may not return. There are some divisions and departments that have just been absolutely devastated and wiped out. The NBA experience, rumors are saying that all of the cast members there are gone as of December 4th. The Minnie Coupes at Walt Disney World, it looks like they have all been laid off and that whole division apparently wiped out. Disney Imagineering has been hit extremely hard, with many of them being let go, and rumors are now saying that Disney may very well be outsourcing all the Imagineering projects instead of doing so much of it in-house. That's something that's been rumored for a while, and this is their excuse to do it. Now, these layoffs don't take effect immediately at Walt Disney World. They've been given essentially 2 months' notice. They will kick in effective on December 4th, and there is a little bit of stipend pay that they will get, but basically after December 4th, you're going to see a lot of them disappear. I don't know if the NBA experience is going to stay open or not. The Minnie Coupe Uber rides are going to be gone now, or Lyft, or whoever they're working with at this point. And a number of other services are just gone. The one, of course, that's most personal to me, because I spent 5 years there and helping build the program, is Photopass. Photopass has been hit especially hard. From what I have been hearing, every single Photopass cast member at Disneyland, with the exception of maybe a couple administrators, is gone. At Walt Disney World, almost all of photographers are gone. There's a handful I've heard that may be left, and a few administrators, and that's about it. Of everybody I know at Walt Disney World, I can count on one hand the number of people that are going to be left after all of this is done. It's just huge. And honestly, it shocks me to no end, because I know what Photopass has meant over the years, not just to me, but to the company, and what's happened with it. See, when I started at Photopass, we had recently taken over from a lot of Kodak. There have been some issues with Kodak. There were a lot of guests that did not like the photographers in the parks because they had been very pushy and shovey, and it was a whole idea that we tried to change. And over the course of a year or two, we took this whole culture of shoving cameras in guest faces to guest services, and going from not a very great sales percentage to being the number one profit maker at Walt Disney World, where we were hugely in demand. We went from having, one or two guests at a time to having long lines on Main Street. Guests went from trying to avoid the photographers to seeking them out because of the quality of the pictures and the types of pictures and everything else that went along with it. We turned into this huge program, and it's why they actually expanded Photopass from Walt Disney World over to Disneyland, where they saw the same kinds of results, where they had taken the photographers in the park from a necessary nuisance that made some money to things that people looked forward to and sought after and just made bucks. Because we weren't focused on the dollars, because we were focused on customer service and quality services. People love Photopass. And here we are 9 years after I left, where we were the number one moneymaker, and now we're looking at Photopass being devastated and possibly completely eliminated entirely in California. And I'm just in a state of shock over how we could get to this point. It's not because Photopass photographers weren't in demand. When we were in California, Disneyland Photopass still had long lines everywhere. In fact, it's actually one of the reasons we didn't get as many pictures as we wanted, because almost all of them had long lines, and we didn't want to wait in lines. We're spoiled. When I've been to Walt Disney World the last couple of years, long lines, people are buying memory makers. So how do you get to a point where people are looking for photographers and spending money on it, to Disney suddenly deciding that they don't see the value in it anymore? Well, at Disneyland, one of the things I think that may have hurt it, and this is pure speculation on my part, is when they took Photopass from being independent and making its own money and its own budget and showing its own dollars, and they took it and they merged it in with FastPass systems, which had no money at all in them, and they merged them together into MaxPass, a pay service at Disneyland where people would pay an extra fee and then they could use their phones to book their FastPasses. They could also see their Photopass pictures, and buying the MaxPass would include all of your Photopass pictures for the day. Now, Disneyland has a harder time marketing the all of your pictures for a month or two kind of package that Walt Disney World does, because it's only 2 days and people tend to not spend as much time there. So you're looking at 3 days in the parks versus 5 out at Walt Disney World. So it's not quite as marketable, so this was a way to do it. The problem is that money for MaxPass then isn't showing necessarily pictures, it's also showing FastPasses, and it's easy for the penny pinchers to say, look how much money FastPass is making us as opposed to Photopass, and not realizing that each of them is valuable and they actually probably undersold it. Honestly, when we went, the price that we were paying for the MaxPass, even for each one of us, was a bargain to get all the pictures, just the pictures, let alone the FastPass as well. Honestly, I think they probably could have made more money separating them out. But at that point, Photopass no longer had an ability to show their own budget, to show that they were making money, but instead, they were sharing it with FastPass, and you have people that if they wanted to see FastPasses making more money, well, that's what they would see. And then, of course, you get those people with the penny pinchers, and, well, this is the age of selfies, and everybody's running around going, and taking their own pictures, and so we're not taking as many, we're not selling as many, and that's actually not the truth. Because when you are doing this, you're not getting a good photo. Photopass takes pictures with everybody in it. There's a reason it still had huge lines when we were at Disneyland, and people were still downloading their pictures. The on-ride pictures, the pictures of characters. There's a lot of things that Photopass can do, like magic shots, that you can't do on your cell phone. It's still sold, but Disneyland kind of crippled the sales. And then with your penny pinchers that aren't thinking long-term, aren't thinking guest satisfaction, they're not thinking what's going to work 5 years down the road and make us money. It's all
get it now or not get it at all.
They eliminated it. It gave them their excuse. And especially at a time when you're not having character meet and greets. Character meet and greets are a major point of sale for Photopass. We don't know when we're going to get character meet and greets again. In California, even when they finally do get to reopen the park, probably next year, the way they're going, even when they do, character meet and greets aren't going to be happening anytime soon. Same in Florida. So those are all photographer positions that aren't going to be able to be used. They're not going to be able to make money, so they're easy jobs to cut out. Well, once you've cut out the characters, that basically leaves you with your icon shots like the castle and Spaceship Earth and those kinds of things, and you don't need very many with that. Well, now, I don't know. Maybe we probably won't sell very many. Let's just get rid of it. And I think that's what's happened with Disneyland. And I'm afraid when they do reopen, there won't be Photopass, and I don't know when it will return, if it will return. It'd be sad to see it lost, but I don't think they see the value in it anymore. Walt Disney World runs into similar problems with the characters. The additional problem you have at Walt Disney World is those stupid photo boxes that they had started experimenting with before all of this broke down. And they had started to turn a couple of them off, but like Tinkerbell was still stuck with them, and they took terrible pictures, horrible photos that people didn't want to buy, which was, again, more of a justification of them of why do this, why put a person in there if we can sell a picture or two off a box and not have to pay anybody. Well, here's their ultimate excuse. We can't do characters for a while. We've got time to put boxes in. We can replace them. I think that's probably what's going to happen in Florida is when we do come back, when they eventually allow characters to meet and greet again, I think it's either going to be photo boxes or nothing. And I hate to say that, but again, the penny pinchers, what's the cheapest way we can do this? Who cares if the photos are crud? Who cares if there's nobody there to help? Who cares about the guest service part of it? We're just after the money, and the cheapest way we can make the most. And so I think that's their justification there. And then, of course, once you cut out all the characters again, well, why do we need so many photographers? Why do we need 8 photographers on Main Street? Who cares if they've got lines that are 7 families deep most of the day? Let's just eliminate them, and well, if we're going to do that, we may as well just trim this whole program down. What it's looking like now is there may be a handful left. From what I've heard, there are a few that have not gotten the call, but there aren't very many. After December 4th, I don't know how many photographers there will be out there. It almost sounds like there might be just a handful at Magic Kingdom to get your castle shots. I don't know if they'll have enough bodies to put them anywhere else. I wouldn't be surprised if they completely close the views, which is the stores where you go to see them, and make it completely and totally online, which of course is, again, another way to eliminate guest service, eliminate promotion and assistance, and that kinds of thing, and cut your budgets, because who cares about guest service anymore? I'm looking at this and I'm honestly seeing an opportunity for them to just slash this whole thing to try to wring out pennies while eliminating really what made Photopass what it was. What do we need magic shots for? And it's funny about the boxes, because they actually talked about doing boxes even before I got there, and they never got them to work, and they still don't work because a box can't do what a person can. But your penny pinchers don't see that. They don't realize that a huge part of what made Photopass successful was the guest service part. They're just seeing the mechanics. Well, if we can eliminate the people so we don't have to pay them, we can eliminate all that equipment that they're carrying around. We don't have to pay for that. We have just a basic thing here, and that'll do it. And they're losing what made Photopass powerful. Will there be Photopass left? I don't know. I don't think the Minnie Coupes are coming back. I don't know how successful they were anyways. They seemed like they were doing okay, but I don't think that ever made the money Disney wanted. So I think that was an easy write-off for them. I don't know what's happening with the NBA experience. I think the Imagineers, an easy way for Disney to justify that is we'll only hire contractors if we need them. And if we don't see us needing them, we'll eliminate them. And it eliminates the whole brainstorming process that went on with Imagineering. It's a massive, ugly cut. There's not much of Imagineering left. And I think that's going to hurt Disney for years down the road with the development of new projects, new attractions, new things in the parks. And right alongside that, I think the reduction and elimination of Photopass. Because Photopass is such a hands-on thing. You've got a lot of guests that they may say hi to a cast member working a ride or buying their food, but it's just such a quick passing thing. But the Photopass experiences were actual encounters and contact, and I think we had such a vital role, and I hate to see what's going to happen with it in the future. I think long term, I think these cuts are going to hurt Disney. I hope that at Disneyland, when they finally get to reopen, they get to start rehiring. I hope that when the COVID danger finally goes down and the crowds start to come back again, they can rehire a lot of this. But I am afraid that in particular, the Imagineering, the Photopass, and the Coupes, I don't think they're ever going to come back to the levels they were, because the people making those decisions don't see the value in them and think they can make that same money other ways. Not a good thing. That's just my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours too. What's your opinion about it? Do you know more about the layoffs than I do, which wouldn't surprise me? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments too. Please don't forget to share them in the comments below. Don't forget to check the description. Lots of links, including pages where you can actually go to my Discord server, my Facebook pages, and we can talk about it there as well. It gives you opportunities for contact and chat and guest service. Hey, what a concept. Thank you as well to my patrons, my financial supporters on YouTube. I couldn't do what I do without them. If you want to know more about that, please check the description below too. It's got links to that. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and sharing the video. God bless. There have been some issues with Kodak. Cass. No, not Cass. People didn't have broken bones. We wanted to get... We did. And then they could use their phones to book their Photopass. Yeah. If you'd like to know about my merchandise, contact information, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of my videos, hit that button right there to subscribe. And if you want to see another one, well, I've got a great video for you right here. If you'd like to be like these wonderful people here too and support me financially on Patreon or YouTube, well, hit that little button right there. It'll even give you behind the scenes access and more perks. Thank you so incredibly much for watching, and God bless.